Welcome friends. The last week has been very important for Mr. Bakshi because he was given the Ethnic Affairs portfolio in the latest National Party reshuffle, as well as declared his candidacy from the newly named Panvel Otahu electorate. So we have Mr. Bakshi here and we straight away get into our questions. Bakshi sir, are we talking, if the government changes, are we talking to the next Minister of Ethnic Affairs?
Look, that all depends upon the leader, but he has given me this responsibility 14 weeks out of election, and I hope that after we are able to form the government in September, I'll continue in this role.
Okay, so do you think the work that you have been doing in politics for last decade or so within ethnic communities has resulted in you getting this portfolio?
Yes, obviously the leader has seen that my contribution to the ethnic community overall, it's not just in Auckland but all over New Zealand. I've been trying to represent National Party on different fronts, not only the Indian side but Chinese, Korean, wherever the opportunity has come. African, nowadays we see that a lot of events from the African community also coming up.
Okay.
So even though we are the most diverse party in the parliament, we have got two Indians, we have got a Korean, a Chinese, and a Filipino. Apart from the Pacific and the Maori one, and we have always given that we need to have that true representation of those people.
So we'll come to the general issues about ethnic communities, but specifically I want to ask you one thing. Like, lots of migrants come from ethnic communities, and in the last 2 months you must be aware, even the unions, everyone is saying that migrant community, majority ethnic community is struggling because they are on work visa here. So they are saying, we know temporary accommodation services there, civil defense is there, but they are saying please activate Section 64 of Social Security Act 2018. Can you give us assurance that, because things will only get worsened in the next few months, if you become the Minister of Ethnic Affairs, will you activate that Section 64?
Look, that is not my portfolio where I can commit you that it will happen.
But will you?
But it will, yes. My advocacy will remain there, and I will try to advocate for the best result for the migrant workers as well as anybody who is in trouble. That should be the.
So your stand is that you will advocate for invoking Section 64.
My advocacy is to help the people whatever the way it is required.
Okay. Sir, one general thing that I want to talk about ethnic communities is, irrespective, because 3 years back you were in government, now Labour is in government. When people talk about helping ethnic communities, the first and the last thing they have to do is increase funding. So they say, okay, have more multicultural festivals. But if you go on the ground, you will see, like for example, we come from Indian community. If you go, I have been in Christchurch, you look at the Bollywood, the Diwali festival there, you look at here. Our festivals have been reduced just to Bollywood concerts. It's just Bollywood content. There is no cultural element to it. So people demand things like this. Like we have written recently that why can't we have something like an optional holiday, like for Guru Parv. We can have an optional holiday. For Diwali we can have an optional holiday where people can actually sit at home and enjoy a day off, right? Similarly, Ministry of Education can start awareness programs. So Guru Parv is there so they can teach kids about Sikhism. Similarly for Diwali. So what I'm saying is, apart from giving more funding, these are some new innovative ideas to make New Zealand multicultural in the real sense. Do you have some ideas like that?
I think it's already happening in my experience, because I have been going to different schools to attend Diwali functions and different ethnic functions, Chinese, Indian, and that makes real insight for the kids to learn how this country is changing. And it is a big change, and look at, just if we are talking about Diwali only. So the small little towns like Ashburton, Invercargill, it's not.
Which have started celebrating Holi, Ashburton.
So it's not only Diwali, now they are switching to Holi also. So all those things are happening. It is taking some time, but I'm sure that.
So will you be open to ideas apart from just giving more money, to ideas like
I think
this?
the money is also equally important. What I am thinking is that we should provide the money to get people to invite some of the cultural groups into New Zealand and get their performances done. It is not just Bollywood. it can be a musical concert, it can be a Bharatanatyam dance.
Okay.
For Africans, their cultural things. So we should have a contestable fund available for all the societies, and they can
So-
apply for it.
Yeah.
That is my view.
So
And-
money will be there as well as some other ideas will be there.
Yeah.
You know, now
So-
you have that thing.
Yeah, so new ideas will be there,
Okay.
and I'm going to talk, because I've just taken over this portfolio. I'll be talking to my team how we should progress on this.
Okay.
And once the front bench and the leadership agrees to it, we'll come up with a
Policy statement.
policy
Okay.
statement that how we are going to look after it. And before anything else, the most important thing is that economically the businesses are suffering.
Mhm.
We need to provide them a direction how they can.
We
Get
will
back.
come to that, sir. We'll come to that. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about your constituency. Last two elections, you were in direct contest with the Minister of Ethnic Affairs, Jenny Salisa. In last two elections, the votes have nearly been same. She gets around 17k, you get around 14k. How do you rate your chances, if assuming she stands again from the?
I think she will stand from that election,
Yeah, okay,
because
so what
it is basically change of the name of
Yeah.
the electorate, but the electorate remains the same.
Okay,
But the thing is that we know it is a Labour stronghold,
okay,
and for a national party to think that they will win
yeah.
is just like
So you think?
Labour Party is thinking to win Epsom.
Okay, okay.
So it is similar kind of situation.
Sir, I'm very glad that you admit it, because my next question is, like this time we have a new electorate, Takanini, right? And when it was announced, we thought that because if you look at the population profile, Flatbush is there, lots of Indian migrants live there. So I was thinking that you might change from Manuka Ois, the old name, to Takanini. Because I'll tell you the criticism, because we have three Kivu Indian MPs in the parliament, everyone is a list MP. And people criticize because these guys don't have any voter base. They are not electorate MPs. They just toe the party line. They don't advocate for us. So if people like you, if you were standing in Takanini, which I am hearing is a safe seat for national, so you could have won from Takanini as an electorate MP, and you could have gained that, you could have nullified this notion. So why are you still standing from?
I think the overall responsibility for me from the party side has been to be a bridge between the ethnic communities and national party.
Okay.
And that's my role for last 12 years.
Okay.
And I'll continue with that. And obviously
You're not going to comment? Why didn't you get Takanini?
I'm not putting up my hand because I was already nominated for this. We were just waiting for the name change
Okay.
to announce
So
it.
you will continue with where we
Yeah. So the name change was finalized last month only.
Okay.
So the formal part has been.
So sir, tell me then, what will be your campaign issues then? Because of the name change I understand, but we have already campaigned in that constituency for last 3 elections. So
Yeah, 4 elections.
yeah, 4 elections.
Yeah. So the issues still remain law and order, education, health, and for the, if we look at the ethnic side, the some of the issues which are very close to them are.
Which you said your team will come up with a policy statement. Okay. So the more or less the same campaign as you have been running.
Yeah.
So the final segment is about, because you represent India as well, right? You are Indian origin MP. So you remember whenever we talked, last time we talked about there is a big issue about Indian migrants exploitation, and we always talk about this co-ethnic exploitation. And you gave me a quote, which was the title of my story, that you are ready to name and shame Indian employers who exploit Indian migrants. That was, I think, 2 years back, sir. You haven't named any or shamed any of them.
That becomes a technical issue, and we know that the media has picked up few people who have been named and shamed by them.
Yeah.
And they have been.
Yeah, that's what we are doing our job, but the politicians are not doing that.
So they have been convicted.
Yeah.
So technically we are in trouble when we name and shame someone.
Legal issues.
Legal issues will rise.
Yeah.
So, but the media has already exposed them. So our responsibility.
Okay, I understand that. But let me ask what you can do and we cannot do. We can name and shame, but you can make laws, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody exploits someone, like these guys earn millions of dollars, $20,000-$30,000 just a slap on the wrist. Why are you, the politicians, you have the power to make it a criminal offense. So can you commit that if you are in government,
So
you'll make it a criminal offense?
What we did last time was that there is a provision now that if somebody exceeds some certain levels,
Yeah.
then they can be deported back.
Yeah.
That law was made
Yeah.
that if employer
Yeah.
is exploiting someone and there was no provision, so
Yeah.
that was brought in by
The
National
national-
Party. So that has been made. Now it is up to the system to implement that.
Can you assure us that if you come in government, it will be
It is being implemented. I think there was one case when
one case here and there, sir. But, yeah.
but the thing is that how many people have come up with the complaints,
Okay.
and how many have been convicted,
Okay.
and
But in principle, you agree it should be a criminal offense.
Exactly, it should be a criminal offense, and anybody who is exploiting someone.
Like we hear the wage subsidy, right? So lots of Indian employers are using wage subsidy to offset their profit losses, right? So big issue, right? So I mean, government is doing something. So things like this,
Yeah.
you know.
So if anybody who is abusing the system should be
This
held
is a
responsible.
clear signal from you. right?
Exactly. Anybody who is abusing the system should be held responsible.
That's great, sir. One more thing I want to ask you. Like as I said, you represent India. Now, Indian-New Zealand relation is also obviously close to your heart. In the last few years, every time we were talking about this, things actually came to RCEP, right? That RCEP will happen. Now, RCEP is not happening. India is not part of RCEP. So, how do you see India-New Zealand relations going forward when RCEP is not happening?
So bilateral trade between India and New Zealand and the agreement is very important for us.
You mean RCEP?
No,
the
bilateral between India and New Zealand, and for that we need to.
You mean an FTA between
FTA or whatever it is?
Yeah.
It can be a bilateral understanding that we can increase, if not a FTA. A full FTA is huge
Yeah.
demand.
Yeah.
So we are ready that we should start talking about at certain level that we should have more trade between India and New Zealand. And John Key made 2 visits on this.
You were part of both
Yes,
these, yeah.
both the trips, and that was the intention that we should continue with. But unfortunately, past 2 years, nothing happened. Recently, Deputy Prime Minister went over there,
Yeah.
and we hope that this will be the continuation.
So again, an assurance from you that if you come in the government, this partial or full FTA between India and New Zealand, the government will make progress on that.
It is not for it. If it was for us, we could have done it yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
It is between the two governments, and India should have same kind of intentions also. We know that they are very concerned about some of the issues.
So
that
dairy farm, yeah. Okay.
But I have been telling a lot of politicians when I visit India
Yeah.
that there is much more than dairy.
Yeah.
We can contribute a lot,
Yeah.
and we can improvise a lot of production. And particularly if you look at horticulture,
Yeah.
apples,
Yeah.
we complement each other. We don't compete each other.
Yeah.
When they
The
have
kiwi
apple
fruit,
season,
Jeffrey is there, right? Kiwi.
no, let's start with apples.
Yeah.
Because I visited Himachal with the then Primary Production Minister, Honorable David Carter,
Yeah.
and we went there, saw that apple plant which is planted gives fruit in 7 years, whereas we can provide new plantation which can provide much more yield in 3 years.
Nearly half the time.
So that gives a huge boost to the farmers over there.
Yeah.
So, but
So let's concentrate on those areas which actually are mutually beneficial instead of just being stuck up on dairy. So last question. You have been an MP since 2008, nearly 12 years. What are in your own mind, what are your greatest achievements?
achievements, look, I have been representing people, and there are many issues. Like in 2008 and 9, to start with, there was a big issue that priests, because our priests don't get formal education or training, so we started a review on my request. The immigration minister started a review and streamlined the whole system to get priests, whether they are
In
from
Gurdwara.
temple,
Okay.
Gurdwara or mosque,
Okay.
because in the Christianity there is formal education, but in Hinduism, Sikhism or Muslimism there is nothing.
Yeah.
So that was streamlined, and that really made a good way and progress to get the priest in. I have been advocating for many other issues, like the law and order was a big issue to increase the numbers, and we did increase, and law and order.
The issue of aggravated robberies in
Yeah,
dairies.
yeah. Particularly in South Auckland, it was a big issue, and we had 3 murders in very short span.
Yeah, okay.
And all those things have been happening behind the scenes. Even though as a backbencher we don't get that exposure, but I was working on all the fronts to improvise.
And that will improve in the next parliament?
They will continue. That's close to my heart that we need to have advocacy, and the role I have picked up was to be a bridge, a two-way communication rather than one way. And that's what's happening.
Bakshi Saab, thank you very much. We'll just do namaskar, right?